r/legal advice. Long Jumping Wing 558 says, I got hit by a Tesla on autopilot. So I was biking and got hit by a Tesla running a stop sign and was knocked out for a good 10 minutes and taken to the hospital, diagnosed with a mid-concussion, and now I have severe back pain, headaches, and I don't know if I'll be able to play tennis anymore because my body is aching. My question is mainly, can I sue Tesla? Police have determined driver's hands were on wheel and it was driver's fault. Edit, I want to just mention I'm a minor and was checked and have no brain bleeds or anything and I'm okay. I do have a fractured wrist but that's it. I went to my pediatrician. Edit 2, I want to say thanks to everyone for the support and was resting for about the whole day, which is why I haven't replied to anyone and didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for the advice everyone. Edit 3, I found out he doesn't own the car and it's his dad and he has no car insurance. Edit 4, I will not be deleting this post as my parents and I have decided it's better if I focus on myself and try to get better. I'm not hiring a lawyer and I'm not using anyone. I want to thank everyone for their advice and really gave me a sense of the accident. I know it sounds stupid, but I didn't think that if I landed even a little differently, I could have died. But I will be taking no legal action, and I'm still in high school, so I'm focusing on my studies. Thank you everyone and safe driving. Senator Bolton says, as someone who was hit by car while riding a bike, I'm suggesting you take down this post and call a lawyer. Do not talk with anyone outside of your immediate family about the accident. Don't wait to speak with a lawyer and get all of the medical treatment you need. Justice of the Peach says, too late, Tesla's lawyer already sent a letter of representation to opt for defamation. Dunn21 says, to add, don't talk to anyone, not even your immediate family. Sure, maybe tell them you got a lawyer, but nothing else. Anything you reveal to them can be forcefully compelled to be revealed in court, as attorney-client privilege would be breached. Boston Bean 280 says, now but Teslas are very explicit in telling the driver that they are responsible and to pay attention when using autopilot. Birdsmith says, autopilot is not full self-driving and does not stop for red lights or stop signs. Autopilot is only an advanced cruise control. Even if the car was on full self-driving beta, the driver is completely responsible and has agreed to be in control and supervise the car when in use, as the Bean said above. It's not Itama says, it looks like it does stop at stop signs, but not yield or crosswalks. Traffic light and stop sign control. This feature is designed to stop at traffic lights and stop signs when using auto steer, traffic aware cruise control, or full self-driving, supervised. It works best on roads that are frequently driven by Tesla's point. However, it may not stop at railroad crossings, toll booths, crosswalks, yield signs, or temporary traffic lights and stop signs. Peter says, you should reach out to a personal injury attorney. But it's pretty rare to be able to sue a car manufacturer, just the driver here. Manvs Internet says, gee, we're in new territory with self-driving. Previous precedent may not apply. JK Act says, I mean, cruise control has existed for a while and the driver is liable. r/legal advice. Future War 9777 says, cop's wife hit my car and then he said she wasn't at fault. Got into a car accident that was 100% not my fault. Cops came almost immediately and say that she isn't at fault. Get the collision exchange paperwork and notice the investigating officer has the same last name as the driver who hit me. Do some digging and find out they are in fact married. Isn't this a conflict of interest? He obviously just covered for his wife. What can I do? This is so unfair. I called the police department to report it, and they seem to not care and we're very defensive. Apparent evaluation says. Where are you? Police reports don't really matter, at least when it comes to insurance. They matter when it comes to getting ticketed/cited. Were you? Future War 9777 says. Arizona. Apparent evaluation says. Did you get cited? Did you file with your insurance? Maldivian says. That was 100% not my fault. Explain the facts of what happened. Cops came almost immediately. Who called them? Do some digging and find out they are in fact married. Did they act like they didn't know each other or take affirmative steps to deceive you, like you saw him introducing himself to her as Officer Johnson or you saw her calling him officer or some other deceit in this regard? I called the police department to report it. Did you talk to the police chief or just a flunky who answers the phones? Talk to the police chief or internal affairs about what the department's policy is on having officers write reports about whether their spouses are at fault for an accident. And we are very defensive. How were they defensive? Did he have a bodycam/dashcam? If so, you may want to send an open records request for that footage. Josen Sud says. Police report doesn't matter that much if you have facts on your side. You file with insurance. If you're unhappy with the outcome, you sue the driver directly. Now. Cersifers says. Speaking from California here, so take it with a grain of salt. Generally, most non-injury traffic collisions do not warrant a police report. Ultimately, it's private property damaged by another unintentionally and is not a crime. Your insurance companies ultimately will get together, hash out fault, and go from there. Definitely file a claim with their insurance company. That being said, if the officer and the driver were married, it would probably be best practice for that officer to call another officer to handle the investigation/paperwork. But him doing so doesn't necessarily mean anything shady took place. Unless there's some glaring detail that's not evident, it sounds like the officer facilitated an information exchange between two private parties involved in a traffic collision. It doesn't seem to me, based on your description of the incident, that the officer covered for anything. He probably responded out of concern for his wife, investigated, determined no crime occurred, and facilitated an info exchange. You can raise your concerns with the department. Generally complaint forms are in the lobby. Fill one out and hand it to the watch commander. However, don't be surprised if nothing comes of it. If the officer handled the accident scene, save for being related to one of the drivers, it's likely he'll get told don't do it again. r/legal advice. Willingness OC 2808 says. Petty theft by accident. I truly forgot, and as I was emptying my shopping bag at the register, I did not pay for 2 items totaling $18 at Target. I was stopped by security and was given a ticket with a court date in a separate room. They said they would be taking my fingerprints. How much trouble will I be in? Additional information, I'll be completely honest. A couple of weeks ago, I was babysitting and went to a different Target. The baby I was babysitting wanted a music box. It's quite a large toy. I put it under the stroller seat. I didn't pay for it. The security guard just told me at the exit that I needed to pay for it, and I did at the register. This item cost $100. I don't understand why I was given the opportunity to pay at that location, but not at the location today. I understand that my face was put in a database, possibly because of this, and that's why the 2 items totaling $18 being stolen escalated to such harsh consequences. Jester29 says. What's your location, and what were you charged with specifically? Watresh Hello says. I'm surprised they stopped you over $18 in items. Target has highly sophisticated loss prevention systems in place, including facial recognition software that they have used to track people who repeatedly steal or forget items until their amount of the loss reaches a level that warrants a felony charge. If I had no ill intent, used self-checkout for this transaction, and had never ever possibly forgotten to pay for an item at Target or any other retailer before, I'd personally appear in court to assert an honest oversight. You're not a trained cashier and it's easy enough to miss scanning one or two items among many. If the circumstances are different than these, I'd take my lumps and avoid self-checkouts in the future. AbleGear5344 says, pay the ticket. $18 is not worth the hassle of court. You might want to contest it though, if shoplifting means they saw you conceal items in your pants/purse or you actually left the store with them. Did you? ZGTC says, who gave you a ticket with a court date? Target security doesn't have that ability. The level of trouble you're in depends on your existing record, if any, and if you were either on probation or a similar obligation. If this is the first time you've ever unintentionally not paid for something, and you have no previous record, then it's very likely that you will only receive a fine. See if there is a legal resource in your area who can give you advice specific to your situation. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.